Okay, guys, Chapter 8, Drama in the Freezer Aisle. "Why are you being so quiet, Anak?" Lola asked as they turned down the freezer aisle at the supermarket. "I'm always quiet," said Virgil. "Not with your Lola. Besides, I see a different quiet. You have a quiet of the eyes." "I was just thinking." "About what?" Virgil paused. "Malaya of the crocodiles." It wasn't exactly a lie. According to Lola, Malaya was a young Filipino girl who once wandered into a starving village. The village was on the bank of a great river where lush fruits and vegetables grew, but no one was allowed to eat anything because it all belonged to the crocodile. One day, Malaya appeared. She plucked a guava off the tree and ate it. The villagers were terrified. They told her she couldn't do that or they'd all be killed. But she kept eating. She started a fire and cooked some vegetables. She fed all the villagers. They were scared but hungry, and they couldn't resist. Sure enough, the crocodile emerged from the water and demanded to know who had eaten all his food. Malaya stepped forward with the whole village behind her. She jabbed her thumb into her chest. "It was me." The crocodile said he would have to eat the villagers now that they'd taken all his food. When he opened his mouth, sharp teeth glistened. Malaya lifted one of the logs from the fire with her bare hands and shoved it down his throat, killing him. Malaya wasn't afraid of anything, neither was Valencia. Virgil didn't have to talk to her to know that. He could tell. "Why Malaya?" Lola asked, snapping him out of the starving village and back into the super saver. He was just about to say it. He was just about to tell her, "I'm thinking of Malaya of the crocodiles because there's a girl at school named Valencia who reminds me of her." When the strangest thing happened, Valencia appeared right there in the freezer aisle. Valencia Somerset. She was lagging behind her mother and staring blankly at the waffle fries. Neither of them looked very pleased. It was an odd sensation to be thinking of someone and have her unexpectedly appear. Like thoughts come to life. It must be fate, Virgil thought. He didn't know if he believed in fate, but it made sense. How else to explain such a coincidence? Never in 11 years had he seen Valencia Somerset outside of school before today. "There are no coincidences. It's like you were meant to be friends." "Anak?" said Lola, pushing the cart forward a little as she considered the frozen pizzas. Joselito and Julius loved them, but Lola could never decide whether they were a good idea or not. "Cheap but garbage," she said. "You off in La La Land?" Valencia hadn't seen him. She was busy ignoring her mother. Virgil knew that ignoring your mother look. What if she glanced up and saw him? Would she say hello? Would he say hello? How? How do you say hello to someone who has hearing aids? Do you talk like normal or do you do something special? He could wave, probably, but then what? What would he say after hello? Virgil was suddenly very aware of his presence. He carefully stepped behind his grandmother. He couldn't let Valencia see him now, not when he didn't know what to say or do. What if this was fate and he'd ruin it by being, himself? "Sorry, Lola," Virgil muttered. "I was just thinking about something that happened on the last day of school." Lola tossed a garbage pizza in the cart. What happened?" She was always ready to hear gossip, no matter where it came from. Said Virgil. "They served green beans at lunch." Lola raised her eyebrows. "If that's your big news of the day, you really need to find more exciting things to do." Lola pulled a bag of frozen Brussels sprouts out of the freezer and plopped them into the cart. She inched forward. There were only 4 people in the aisle now, them and the Somersets. Had the lights always been so bright in here? It was difficult to stay hidden behind Lola. First of all, she was thin as a rail. Second of all, she turned around and said, "What you doing, Virgilio?" "Ay, sus, you are right under my feet." Virgil stopped in his tracks. Mrs. Somerset put a bag of frozen french fries in her cart. Valencia was still staring off into the freezer like it was the door to Narnia. Virgil? Fate had given him another chance, and what? He was going to hide behind his Lola. He swallowed he said again, any minute, Valencia would look up and see him, and then he'd have to do something, say something. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to wave or say hello. I don't care if I look stupid or not. There are no coincidences. He took a step forward when Valencia turned her back and walked away without seeing him. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He exhaled, defeated, and faced Lola. She was holding a bag of frozen peas in each hand, comparing prices or brands. Virgil didn't know which. "Can we get ice cream?" he asked. The ice cream stood in neat rows in opposite freezer. If he was going to be a failure, at least he could have something to look forward to. Quickly he added, "Good ice cream." Lola had a habit of picking the cheapest kind. It didn't make sense to Virgil. The brand she picked was 3 times bigger than the other ice cream. It came in a big plastic tub, but it didn't taste very good. It seemed like more ice cream would cost more money, but apparently that's not how the world of ice cream worked. Virgil would rather have less if it tasted better. Lola kept her eyes on the peas. "Strawberry," she said. Virgil would have preferred French vanilla, but he didn't want to press his luck. He was scanning the ice cream, looking for the different kind, one with chunks of real, actual strawberries, when another familiar face appeared reflected in the glass. Chet Bolins. The Bull. Pug-faced boy, as Lola would say, even though she'd never seen him with her own eyes, was right behind him, talking to his father. It was as if there was a Boyd middle school reunion at the Super Saver. The people who ruled most of his thoughts were under this one industrial roof, right alongside 2-for-1 soda and bargain mangoes. The bull hadn't seen him, not yet. Virgil immediately opened the freezer. The door fogged quickly, obscuring Bull Jr. and Bull Sr., but more importantly, obscuring him. He stood there until goosebumps erupted on his arms, until his teeth rattled, until he was sure the Bullens boys were gone, and Lola called from the end of the aisle, "Hurry up and knock." He grabbed the container closest to him without even looking.